Welcome back, and for more details, we're very delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Ayman Ghoneim, the economic and financial expert and legal expert also. Good afternoon, Dr. Ghoneim.
Good afternoon, madam.
Let me just point out to that particular historical event and the attendance of His Excellency the Prime Minister on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, sharing this very special moment with our brothers inside Tanzania, and the inauguration of the Julius Nyerere hydropower plant dam that was erected. Prime Minister Madbouli described the project as a clear evidence of Egypt's commitment to development in Africa. How does that fit into Cairo's broader strategy of strengthening its presence and influence inside the continent?
Well, let me first just give a few figures that would really show us the significance of the inauguration of Julius Nyerere's power plant or hydropower plant. This power plant has a generation capacity of 2.1 gigawatt versus previous generation capacity in Tanzania without the dam of 2.5 gigawatt. Therefore, the new project actually almost double the Tanzanian power generation ability. That's why it's a clear demonstration of Egypt's commitment to development in Africa on one hand, and also in the Nile Basin. Cairo is now stating clearly that it's not against the development project in the Nile Basin, it's not against the right of the African people to generate electricity from their own resources, from clean resources. It's only trying to balance the interest, the just interest of the peoples of Africa and the peoples of the Nile Basin, the countries of the source and of the source of the Nile, and the countries of the final destination of the Nile, which are Sudan and Egypt. This power generation actually shows quite well that Egypt is now regaining its strong soft power in Africa, supported by its expertise, by its abilities, by the capabilities of the Egyptian companies to undertake such mega projects.
Right. How does the successful cooperation with our brothers in Tanzania, with our Egyptian expertise and the high-profile Egyptian companies that are building this hydropower plant help in building the required solidarity and the required trust and the required collaboration between our brothers in the Nile Basin countries that is very much needed at this time of life?
Well, actually, in the 1950s and 60s, Egypt was the leading country of the African nation, and it was voicing the concerns and the aspirations of the African nations for independence and for political freedom. 1960 was called the Year of Independence of Africa. Many African countries got their independence that historical year. Then today, under the leadership of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the new republic is trying to get back and actually is regaining its foothold and its leading position in Africa, but through the present concerns and the present aspirations of the African people, which these concerns and aspirations are actually concentrated on development, on the rights of the African people to develop their own countries, to develop their economies, to upgrade their infrastructure, to increase their capacity for power generation, for industrialization, for trade and commerce, and finally to improve the living standards of the African people. Actually, this is a very smart way of getting back the Egyptian role in Africa, the Egyptian soft power, through helping the African nations, of course, using the Egyptian experience, using the Egyptian capacity, companies that undertake mega projects like Arab Contractors and Saudi Electric, using such capabilities in developing and in upgrading the African economies.
Right. This type of partnership and the strong presence, like you earlier kindly mentioned, of CEOs of Egyptian huge mega companies that are recognized worldwide, not only in the Arab world, and also the support and empowerment of the Egyptian government unconditionally, because usually the support or the collaboration partnerships with Western countries or with China is enforcing strategic conditions. There is nothing for free. But in this gesture by the Egyptians, there is an Egyptian hand that is stretched with mutual needs between the brotherly African countries, that is building on a new foundation of investment partnership, economic partnership, future prosperities. How can we build on that?
Well, actually, Egypt has a huge competitive advantage compared to other countries, compared to other mega powers in Africa. Of course, the geographical proximity makes it easy for the Egyptian companies to mobilize their resources and start undertaking any project in Africa. Also, we have to admit that the depreciation of the Egyptian pound helped in increasing the competitiveness of the Egyptian factors of production, including raw materials and labor. But also, as you mentioned, the political will. We know from previous decades that the Egyptian role in Africa had to be supported by strong political will. And today we have a strong political will to get back or to regain the Egyptian soft power in Africa. And as I mentioned, based on the concerns and the aspirations, the new concerns and the new aspirations of the African people for upgrading their economies and upgrading their way of life, their living standards. Of course, cooperation with the mega powers like the US and China is still there and is still important, not only for Africa but also for Egypt and for all the developing countries. But when the developing countries start cooperating with each other, start offering each other better terms, actually this improves the negotiating power of these countries versus the mega powers. Here we have to admit that the Eastern mega powers like China and India used to offer much better terms and much easier terms than the Western powers. But of course, all these powers, they try to improve their trade conditions, and they try to improve their trade terms. And they look at Africa as a source of raw materials and also a market for their finished goods. And this is also another significant outcome of such project that was inaugurated in Tanzania, because increasing the African countries' power generation ability will lead to increasing their industrialization, improving their manufacturing industries, enhancing the investment in manufacturing industries, and also in agriculture. So at the end of the day, this helps transforming the African countries from the old model of importing raw materials and exporting, the old model of importing finished goods and exporting raw materials.
Right. Dr. Ghoneim, this is a hydropower plant project, and it's, of course, it holds a great importance to the Tanzanian people. But at the same time, this is also important in the sense of the timing of the inauguration of this hydropower plant, especially that it is generating energy, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So
and
how important is that particular point?
Well, this the Egyptian strong role and a strong presence in such projects, which was undertaken by two mega companies in Egypt.
Right.
One of them is Arab Contractors, that has a big history in Africa and in the Arab world. Actually, as I told you, it shows that Egypt is not against the development projects in the Nile Basin, is not against constructing dams and using the hydropower in the Nile Basin for producing electricity and for transforming the economies of the Nile Basin into more industrial and manufacturing economies.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time. Thank you so much, Dr. Ayman Ghoneim, the economic and legal expert. Thank you for your time. And by this we come